Hi guys, it's Dr. Jana again. So for this month, I want to teach you about using essential oils in your cooking or um, to make drinks or something like that. So a couple things to know. If you are going to add an essential oil to a liquid to make like a lemonade or something like that, or to add like pink grapefruit or lemon essential oil to water with some sweetener, for example, make sure that you're using glass and not plastic or metal. The other thing to know is you want to use the lowest heat possible. So if you're going to add, for example, oregano oil to make a spaghetti sauce, you want to add it at the end after you take it off of the heat, after you turn the heat down, because we want to preserve as much of the potency and nutritional medicinal value of the oil as possible. And the higher the heat and the longer it's under high heat, the more destroyed the oil can get. So this shouldn't take too long. And also, before I begin, I want to just refer you to my website, because I mention oils in different recipes, but one recently that I got to experiment on a lot of people is my cranberry sauce recipe. So traditionally, you would use a whole lot of sugar, and a lot of people use straight up orange juice to make cranberry juice homemade. Well, that's a lot of sugar. You're talking 30, 40, 50, 60 grams of sugar, depending how much you use, plus the cranberries and the sugar you add to it, maybe even upwards of that. So, and how much you eat, of course. So I have given you a recipe that has 4 ingredients: water, cranberries, swerve as sweetener, and then orange essential oil in place of orange zest or orange juice. So just packs a lot more punch and a lot more health and nutritional value, and significantly reduces the sugar content of it. And it's delicious. Everybody approved. We also have it as a topping for my raw vegan cheesecake. So check that out. All my recipes are on my blog. I have a recipe blog and a wellness blog on my website, which is just my name, drjanajoshu.com. So drjanajoshuGrimm.com. I know it goes on forever. And any of these oils that I'm going to be talking about are 100% safe to use for cooking and for ingesting. They are the Nature Sunshine brand. Anybody who knows me knows that that is the line that I use for herbs and essential oils and flower remedies and everything. They have everything that I need. They are an extremely high integrity company. Everything is far beyond organic standards. They have a sure source guarantee, and you can find all that information out on my website, so I won't take the time to explain here. But what is critical is knowing your oils. So whatever I'm recommending, I am not telling you to do this with something you would grab off of the health food store, like an Acacia brand of clove oil or something like that. It has to be organic. It has to be non-GMO. Most essential oils contain pesticides and heavy metals, high contents of lead. They're not certified organic, and there's nobody really monitoring the potency and purity of these things, so companies can get away with it. So most essential oils sold in health food stores or anything like that are just monitored by the FDA, and essential oils are categorized as cosmetic. So there's really no standard for people to regulate this stuff by. So you really, really, really have to know your manufacturer. So you have my word and my reputation on the line for this company that I use for a reason, that it is safe. Not all essential oils, even within like the line I use, for example, are ingestible. So you do need to know what you're doing. We're not going to get into all of that in this video, but I'm going to share ones that you can use in your cooking. So I'm just going to go in alphabetical order with my favorites that I use and have used. So cinnamon essential oil, cinnamon leaf. You could use that in pumpkin pie. I have a great pumpkin pie recipe that is all of my recipes are gluten-free, dairy-free, by the way, and almost all of them are Candida detox friendly or can be converted to a sugar-free version for those of you on a Candida detox, or just needing to cut back on carbs in your diet, or working with for cancer or something like that. So essential oils pack a lot of punch with even just one drop. So when you do use them to flavor something or season something, you want to start really small. Start with 1 drop, taste, 2 drops, taste, because you can't take it out once it's in there. It immediately starts to dissolve into your recipe or sauce or whatever it is you're making. But so anything you would use cinnamon for, you could potentially use cinnamon essential oil. Clove, same thing. You get the idea. You can also make great, you can combine clove, cinnamon, and orange essential oil for a great diffusing scent fragrance for your home that's not only medicinal and welcoming, but totally safe. You're not getting all those chemical fragrance particles going into your body, because whether we inhale them, ingest them, or put them on our skin, they're immediately going into our bloodstream. So if you don't know this about essential oils, the second they touch our skin, they're going into our bloodstream within 3 seconds, and they're in every single cell in our body within 30 minutes. That's awesome. What's not awesome is if you're using an impure oil, then everything that's in that oil, the potential heavy metals or pesticides, toxins, whatever, the impurities, those are also driving immediately into your cells and getting into like the mitochondria DNA and wreaking havoc on your system, and could actually cause more damage than the benefits that they claim to have for that oil. So just buyer beware. Lemon is one of the most common ones that I use. I have a recipe called Detox Lemonade on my website, or Detox Tea, and it's essentially just lemon juice or lemon essential oil, raw apple cider vinegar, water, and then sweetened with liquid stevia. So that's a great thing. You can drink that if you're pregnant. You can drink that if you're a child, if you're elderly, whatever. And you can determine how much raw apple cider vinegar you want to use. So if you drink it and you get a little bit sour stomach, then use only half the amount of raw apple cider vinegar the next time. But using the lemon essential oil makes it really fast and easy and makes it incredibly healthy. Something else that I've tried is using pink grapefruit essential oil in that same lemonade recipe, and it's yummy, doing part lemon essential oil and part pink grapefruit essential oil. So anything you want to season with lemon or make something extra lemony without adding a lot of extra liquid or lemon juice, or you run out of lemons, you don't have lemons on hand, or you just really want to use essential oils in your cooking, which I'm starting to do and loving it, that it's a great option. Orange, or the organic orange that I carry, this is what I used in the cranberry sauce. This is such a killer substitute for orange zest, because if you're like me, I rarely have oranges laying around. I don't have an orange tree. I don't have orange zest on hand readily, but I do have orange essential oil, and it worked incredibly well. It was just an idea the Lord gave me, and I love the recipe, and I'm happy to share it with you guys. So you can share that with your friends. You can make your holidays a lot healthier, and the cranberry sauce works great as a topping on like a pork tenderloin or my raw vegan cheesecake, like I said, or a topping for another dessert that you want to get creative with. Wild oregano. I love this in making like a marinara or spaghetti sauce. Wild oregano is an amazing antibiotic, antiviral. So you're essentially making this marinara sauce to put on whatever. You could just put it over spaghetti squash or raw zucchini noodles, which we call zoodles, with a spiralizer. If you don't know what that means or what that is, you can Google it, but it's a very inexpensive appliance that you can take a raw zucchini or sweet potatoes and spiralize them into long spiral noodles, and then like the sweet potatoes you would bake to make curly fries, or the zucchini, you spiralize it, you have your zoodles, then you have a raw vegetable as your base. That's your noodles in place of grain noodles, like regular spaghetti noodles, which are going to cause a sugar crash and bloating, and it's just a much healthier way of having spaghetti. But you can season your sauce with the oregano, and if your family's getting sick, that's a great way to trick your family into taking their medicine. It is an amazing antiviral. So when you think virus, if you have spiking fevers or clear snot, but you're definitely sick, you're thinking virus. And so lemon or oregano or pink grapefruit would be great options for that. Also cinnamon. So just a little health background on that as well. But get creative. Excuse me. Wild oregano is hot. It's a hot oil, just like clove is. And of all the ones that I have here, cinnamon is also considered a hot oil, but oregano is especially hot, so definitely start small. It does not take much to add a lot of flavor to a big batch. So, and again, if you're cooking something warm, make your sauce, season it up with whatever you like. If you want to use like some fresh garlic and sea salt, but then add your rosemary or your oregano essential oil after you turn the heat off, and then just stir it and mix it in really good. It's yummy. I encourage you to try it. Pink grapefruit, anything you want to make pink grapefruit flavored, you are welcome to try and ingest that. Pink grapefruit is great for viruses. It's an amazing antiviral. So if you get a sore throat, you can always put some pink grapefruit right here on your glands. You can put it behind the ears for any type of viral infection. You put it on the chest if you have a respiratory viral infection. All of these are also antibiotics too. So doesn't really matter what you have. You can still try them to help knock out the cold. Wild rosemary. That one is awesome for making for like seasoning up a beef roast in the crock pot. You can add it to the water that surrounds the roast with all your other herbs and spices. And it is amazing. It's so fragrant and just adds a lot of good rosemary. I love rosemary, garlic, and sea salt, maybe pepper, white pepper, to season steaks like ribeyes and to season like a beef roast, shoulder roast, or rump roast. That is like my favorite seasoning. So if you're putting it into like a water or a broth type thing, you can just add a few drops to the roast. Now, if you're going to make a marinade to paint steaks with, take your little glass dish and put a little bit of olive oil in there, maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how big and how many steaks you're trying to make. So it's like your carrier oil for cooking, because you still need to have something to paint on the steaks, because you wouldn't put 1 drop directly on to your steak because it would just absorb right there and it really wouldn't have enough consistency to spread out. And putting too many drops would be way too strong. So 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, maybe a couple drops of rosemary, depending on how strong you like it. Add your garlic and your sea salt, or you could add the sea salt at the end after you paint on the mixture. And then just take a basting brush or whatever you like and drizzle it on your steaks. Rub it in really good or paint it on really good. Make sure you cover both sides, and you've got like this power-packed, nutritious steak. Of course, make sure your meat is grass-fed if at all possible, at least antibiotic and hormone free, because that affects everything. A little side note, if you don't know this, a major source of how we're all getting antibiotics in our system is from eating dairy and animal products, meat, that is not grass-fed, that is injected with hormones and steroids. So we're actually, the very food we're eating is like taking a very low dose antibiotic as often as you're eating that type of food. So that leads to candida overgrowth and wipes out probiotic cultures in your gut, leads to leaky gut, just wreaks havoc on the system. Definitely messes with hormones and can cause everything up to like infertility issues, et cetera, et cetera. So just something good to know and to be aware of. The last 2 that I'm just going to mention in this video are sweet marjoram, we have that, and wild thyme. So anything you would add marjoram to, it's not one that I use that often. It's just not a go-to spice for me, really. But thyme, I love Italian cooking, and I love thyme and rosemary and oregano and those kind of spices. So anything you would use thyme for, again, it's just if you need to paint it onto something and create like a sauce, make the sauce on the side with an oil or a mustard or some sort of base to put it in so that you have some substance to actually mix it into and smear it on the food. So where possible, turn down your heat first and then add the oil. Obviously, if you're going to paint it on a steak and put it on the grill, you can't do that. It's still okay to use. And just remember to use glass if you're storing something in a jar or a drink or liquid, or you're going to be ingesting it to drink. You can also make orange flavored water. You can make your own soda, like healthy soda, by taking bottles of San Pellegrino or Perrier, like soda water, Again, if it's in the glass bottle, or if you have a choice, get the glass bottle. You can take a few sips out of it. You can put a few drops of orange or pink grapefruit or lemon, lime, whatever essential oil, whatever flavor you're looking to accomplish, and then put some liquid stevia or liquid vanilla stevia in there, sweeten it to taste, and now you have soda that has no sugar in it, is loaded with nutrition, and nothing to stress about. And you can make your family quite surprised at how delicious, healthy cooking and preparation and eating can be. So that's one of my joys, is to not only teach you how to be healthy, teach you how the body works, help you to understand the why behind what we do, and give you healthy options to provide resources for you. I'm not the resource for everything. I can't be all things to all people. But I make videos and teach you as the Lord inspires. So this was something that came up today in a consult with some patients that I love in Kansas, and I said, you have just inspired me. You've helped me decide what my video teaching for the month is going to be. So I hope you enjoy. If you guys try any of these things and you have feedback, let us know. We love your testimonies. We love to share it with other people. You trying things and coming up with new ideas helps us to help others. So share the good news if you have any. So I love you. Be blessed, and try some new things. Don't be afraid to experiment with some good, healthy yummies. All right. Bye, guys.